Aslamo.alikum. Welcome back to our channel, Digital Future AI School. And before we get started, we just like to say, please do subscribe to our channel, like and share it with your friends. This is episode 12, and it's also chapter 12 of the book AI, Your Smartest Partner in Life and Work, written by Mr. Zahir Ahmad-Mir. Today, we are undertaking a pretty massive deep dive. We are taking artificial intelligence out of the boardrooms, away from these complex financial models and the huge industrial algorithms that dominate corporations. And we're planting it squarely on your kitchen counter, in your wallet, and embedded deep within your daily calendar.
That is the quiet revolution, isn't it? For years, the whole narrative around AI has been about this massive industrial scale disruption.
Right, factory automation, things like that.
Exactly, or national scale computing. But the most profound change, and this is what the sources we've looked at really highlight, is happening in the mundane, in the ordinary. It's all about how you, our listener, can live smarter, healthier, and just more efficiently.
We're sort of moving past AI as this futuristic concept. And into what?
And integrating it as really an absolute necessity for managing modern complexity.
The core premise of this deep dive, then, is that AI is quickly becoming this integrated companion, a comprehensive life management tool that helps you optimize, almost every single facet of your existence.
Right.
It's not just a collection of siloed apps anymore. It's a systematic approach to life optimization.
And the roles it takes on, they really reflect that integrated philosophy.
Yeah.
When we actually look at the material, we see AI stepping in to fill 10 core roles in the average person's life, often simultaneously.
And okay, let's hear them.
It's your ultimate planner and your most relentless organizer. It serves as a tireless tutor and, maybe more importantly, your most objective financial assistant.
Okay.
It also acts as a comprehensive health advisor and a lightning-fast research helper. Then you've got this bridge-building translator, an emotional support companion, and we need to talk about the critical limitations there.
Absolutely.
A work assistant that just handles the day-to-day friction, and even a really powerful creativity booster. This is, holistic life integration. It's not a novelty anymore.
Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into the core analysis. Our mission today is to move past that list and show you very precisely how AI enhances your personal life, how it allows you to live more productively, more balancedly, all based on the data from the source material.
And for you, the learner, the immediate benefit here is efficiency. It's about gaining a quick but incredibly thorough understanding of how these 10 different, really powerful AI functions, how they all integrate into one seamless life management system.
So you see the structure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by seeing that structure, you immediately reduce that feeling of information overload. You start to understand where to apply this technology for the maximum personal gain.
All right, let's start at the foundation then. If we're talking about a successful life, whether it's personal or professional, it all starts with planning and organization. And what we see here is this fundamental shift where AI moves from being, just a simple list generator to creating these immediate actionable planning tools that bring a level of, predictive precision that older software could never even touch.
That phrase, predictive precision, that is the key difference maker. Think about it. Traditional tools like a calendar or a spreadsheet, they rely entirely on your manual input.
And your own optimism about how much you can get done.
And your optimism, exactly. AI, on the other hand, it utilizes predictive logic. It doesn't just create a schedule, it creates an optimized schedule. It generates these incredibly detailed to-do lists, it sets up time-block daily schedules, and it can create productivity templates based on actual data.
But let's get into the mechanics of that optimization a bit. How does it fundamentally differ from, say, me just dragging events around in my Google Calendar? I can do that myself.
It's all about factoring in the known variables of human cognition and, honestly, fatigue. For example, let's say you input that you typically have a severe energy slump between 2:30 p.m. and 4 p.m.
Which I think most people do. The afternoon crash.
It's a very common human cognitive bias. So the AI, knowing that, won't schedule your most cognitively demanding tasks like, synthesizing a complex research paper during that window.
Okay, so what does it do instead?
Instead, it might schedule low-friction tasks, things like answering routine emails, or maybe it even mandates a recovery break. It's using your own historical energy levels and the estimated effort for each task to structure your time for maximum sustainable output.
That's fascinating. The prompts that we see in the source material really highlight this intelligence. They aren't just, hey, give me a list of chores.
No, not at all.
They're highly nuanced demands like plan my day for maximum productivity, factoring in my tendency to procrastinate on administrative work. Or, even more complex, create a schedule that balances work, study, exercise, and family time without sacrificing more than 1 hour of sleep.
And that's where the intelligence just shines. It's balancing competing life priorities through what we're calling structured life optimization.
Hmm.
When you ask it to balance 4 different domains simultaneously, work, study, fitness, family, it understands that these tasks have variable weights.
Right, and different energy requirements.
Different required energy inputs, different emotional costs even. If it detects a high concentration task for work in the morning, it ensures the rest of the schedule allows for some mental recovery afterwards.
Yeah.
This isn't just time management, it's imposing a sustainable, predictable rhythm on what is often a chaotic modern life.
Okay, so that covers the micro level, the daily plan, the daily optimization. But the sources also emphasize that this needs to scale up. You need to manage that medium-term clarity, your weekly and your monthly structure.
Mhm.
And this is often where human planning just completely fails, right?
Yeah.
Right after that initial burst of daily enthusiasm on Monday morning.
Absolutely. The real stress comes when those short-term demands start to conflict with your long-term goals. AI helps manage that medium-term clarity by acting as a kind of an objective project manager for your life.
How so?
We see tools for organizing weekly goals by priority, setting monthly deliverables for personal projects, creating project timelines, which is essential if you have overlapping professional or educational responsibilities,
Which everyone
which
does.
everyone does. And it automates habit trackers that don't rely solely on your, fragile human willpower.
So for you, the listener, the relevance of this automated organizational heavy lifting is immense. It drastically reduces your mental load. It prevents that information overload.
Yeah.
Instead of spending Saturday morning just planning how you're going to start a project, you can spend that time actually doing it because
Yeah.
the AI has already structured all the incremental steps for you.
Precisely. And then we can scale even further. We can go into the long-term life strategy, and this is where the AI truly transcends being just a calendar app and becomes that personal life coach.
Tell us more about that. AI as the personal life coach. What specific areas are we talking about when we're planning over years, not just days?
Well, the sources list these really expansive planning areas. Things like multi-year career growth plans, defining specific education paths, and all the certification requirements you'll need.
So it's not just get a promotion, it's here are the 5 skills you need, and here's a timeline to acquire them.
Exactly. It's also about setting a scalable business strategy, running complex retirement planning projections, and creating measurable, long-term goal-setting frameworks. In these domains, human planning often stumbles because of inconsistency or analysis paralysis or just emotional bias.
It's incredibly easy to get overwhelmed by a 5-year career path. The steps just feel too large and too abstract.
They do. And the key insight here, the AI's real competitive differentiator, is its capacity for consistent, reliable, and objective support. And it's available 24/7.
It doesn't get tired of you asking, what if?
It never gets tired. It doesn't get emotionally invested in whether you choose path A or path B. It simply processes all the available data on skill gaps, on market trends, financial projections, the required effort. And then it provides a clear quantitative framework.
So it takes the ambiguity out.
It structures the ambiguity of the future into a series of objective steps. That structure allows you to apply your unique human wisdom and your values to make the final informed decision.
Okay, let's move on to health and wellness. This area, I think, demands immediate attention to risk and ethical boundaries.
It does.
The sources make a crucial distinction right away, and we have to emphasize this. AI does not replace medical professionals. Its role is enhancing awareness and supporting your commitment to health. It's an extremely informed guide, not a doctor.
That disclaimer is paramount. It should be the first thing anyone internalizes when they think about using AI for health. AI is a tool for knowledge consumption and personal organization. It is not a tool for diagnosis or for treatment authorization.
So what are its actual functions then, the sanctioned ones?
Its specific functions include things like explaining your symptoms in clear layman's terms, summarizing complex, jargon-filled medical reports from your doctor, interpreting general lab results, and I really have to stress the word general here,
Right.
comparing conditions based on publicly available data, and providing foundational health education.
So let's take a real-world example. If I walk out of a specialist's office with a dense lab report, it's filled with acronyms and biomarker readings I don't understand. AI can take that raw data, summarize the key findings, and define all the terms so I actually understand what the results mean before my follow-up appointment.
That is the core benefit and the most effective use case. It allows you, the patient, to become an active, informed participant in your own healthcare. The crucial takeaway is the importance of verification. You use AI to bridge the knowledge gap to make sure that you and your physician are speaking the same language.
But the final call is always the doctor's.
The final diagnosis, the personalized treatment plan, and the prescription always rests with the certified human professional. AI enhances literacy. It does not authorize care.
Let me play devil's advocate for a moment, though. Surely, if AI can summarize these complex reports so accurately, doesn't that inherently encourage people to self-diagnose, to maybe skip the doctor's visit, leading to a kind of ethical drift? How do we stop that perception of substitution?
That's a critical question, and it really underscores the need for continuous education on how to use AI properly. The way we stop it is by constantly highlighting what AI cannot do.
Which is?
It cannot perform a physical examination. It cannot correlate your unique historical health profile with your current symptoms in a dynamic, nuanced way. And it is legally and clinically unable to prescribe medication. It provides information, often synthesized from standardized data sets, which is not the same thing as a personalized, validated professional medical judgment.
So the mantra is, use AI to prepare for the doctor, not to replace the doctor.
That's it, exactly.
Now let's talk about the areas where AI can offer really deep practical personalization. Diet and nutrition. This is where that data integration gets really powerful.
The depth of customization here is, it's far beyond any generic weight loss app you might download. AI can generate personalized meal plans down to the very ingredient level.
Wow.
It can create detailed caloric and macronutrient sheets, balanced diets for specific needs like managing blood sugar or lowering cholesterol, and generate very specific menus like low sugar, high protein, ketogenic, whatever you need.
And the sources give a fantastic specific example that really drives home the computational power required here. The prompt was, make a 7-day Pakistani diet plan for weight loss. This illustrates how AI can integrate these incredibly complex, real-world constraints, cultural requirements, regional cuisine, specific ingredient availability on top of rigid, scientific health goals.
That example perfectly captures the computational advantage. A human nutritionist might require extensive back and forth. They'd have to ask about your favorite regional dishes, what the local bazaars stock, your typical cooking methods, all to understand your cultural and regional preferences.
Which takes time and money.
A lot of time. AI instantly cross-references that cultural knowledge base with your macronutrient goals, the estimated caloric deficits required for weight loss, and any pre-existing dietary restrictions you have. It handles the simultaneous optimization of health goals and your specific, personalized lifestyle requirements.
Which makes the diet sustainable.
It makes it sustainable because it's culturally relevant. It moves beyond just a generic PDF into an actionable, tailored plan that you'll actually stick to.
Shifting to physical activity, the customization continues with fitness and exercise regimens. I imagine this goes far beyond just recommending a 30-minute run.
Oh, it does. AI customizes physical activity down to the minute details. It can apply complex principles like progressive overload and periodization. It designs specific routines customized to your precise metrics, your age, your current cardiovascular fitness level, any specific joint constraints, like maybe a knee injury you mentioned, and your long-term goals.
So running a marathon versus just increasing your bench press maximum.
Very different goals, very different plans. So if I tell the AI I have a mild lower back strain, it won't just give me a general push-up routine. It should be able to instantly modify that routine to minimize spinal compression while still maximizing your overall strength improvement.
That's the dynamic part. It's not a static plan.
Exactly. It accounts for known constraints and integrates them dynamically. Furthermore, if you tell it you can only exercise for 30 minutes at 6 a.m. 3 days a week, it applies maximum effort during those 90 minutes. It might design circuit training or high-intensity intervals for maximum impact. It treats every single user as a unique, dynamic case study, constantly adjusting the plan based on your reported recovery and your performance data.
Finally, in this section, we have to address mental wellness support. This is a very sensitive area, and the sources wisely address AI's limitations and its utility with a great deal of care.
Yes, and the limitation is absolutely clear and it must not be breached. AI is explicitly not a therapist. It is not a psychiatrist or a clinician. It cannot replace human empathy. It can't provide a clinical diagnosis, and it's not a substitute for professional mental health intervention.
But it is framed as a structured, helpful companion.
A companion, yes, in managing daily emotional well-being.
So, if it's not therapy, what are the practical non-clinical support methods that AI provides? I mean, can an algorithm ever truly offer empathy?
That's the crux of the debate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the answer, based on the sources, is no. It doesn't offer empathy. It offers structured cognitive behavioral support.
Hey.
It focuses on these structured positive interventions, providing consistent, non-judgmental motivational support, structuring meditation routines by suggesting appropriate scripts and setting timers, offering exercises rooted in positive psychology, and aiding in emotional regulation.
So instead of just being a listening ear, it's providing tools. Things like cognitive reframing techniques or structured journaling prompts that are based on established self-management principles.
Precisely. It turns vague emotional struggles into structured self-management tasks. It offers that consistency and that structure when professional help isn't immediately required or available. It acts as a reliable framework for maintaining your emotional hygiene.
Okay, let's pivot to another area where logic is key. If AI excels at organizing the complex systems of our time and our body, its application in personal finance is perhaps the most logical fit.
It is the perfect application.
Because finance is fundamentally a game of logic, data, and structured calculation.
Right, and AI provides immediate clarity and logical structure to what is, for many people, a chaotic, anxiety-ridden, and emotionally charged part of life. Its core function is to establish sound financial habits,
Like what?
creating stable monthly budgets, defining very clear spending categories, setting up automatic savings plans that are linked to specific goals, and establishing financial discipline routines.
Let's focus on that specific, complex example the source provides. Create a monthly budget for a family of 5 earning PKR 200,000. This is a highly constrained real-world problem. You've got multiple dependents and a specific regional currency and economic reality to deal with.
And this really showcases AI's ability to move beyond simple subtraction. It utilizes its technical advantage by analyzing real-time microeconomic data, things like local inflation rates, specific regional food costs, utility price fluctuations.
Some things I would never think to check every month.
Right, and it applies logical prioritization. For a family of 5 on that specific income, the variables are incredibly complex and dynamic. You've got education costs, varying health needs, unexpected expenses. AI ingests all these variables and allocates funds to maximize stability, savings, and, discretionary comfort.
So it's not a static budget then. If unexpected inflation hits the price of essential groceries, the AI can dynamically suggest a proportional reduction in discretionary spending immediately before you actually overspend.
Exactly. It imposes a logical, adaptable structure that would take a human several hours of, frankly, agonizing spreadsheet work to replicate manually. This dynamic allocation is absolutely key to maintaining financial health.
And beyond just creating the budget, there's the analytical side. This is where AI tracks the reality against the plan analyzing spending and expense tracking.
This is its critical accountability role. Once that budget is set, AI tracks your actual spending patterns against the established plan, and it does it in real time. Its analytical role is to identify wasteful expenses, spot opportunities for savings that you might easily miss,
Like that subscription you forgot you had.
like an overlooked recurring subscription or a high fee structure on a bank account. And it can suggest better financial habits by highlighting patterns of impulsive overspending in certain categories. It acts as an objective, non-judgmental accountability partner that just identifies the friction points in your finances.
Now let's touch on the areas that carry higher complexity and risk, investment and debt management. And again, we must reiterate that AI provides general guidance here. Specific financial advice should always be verified with a certified professional.
Absolutely. AI is not a broker. It is not a certified financial advisor. Its function is education, its conceptual clarity, and its strategic framework development. It lowers the barrier to entry for complex finance by providing basic investment concepts, explaining the logic behind asset diversification.
The don't put all your eggs in one basket principle.
That's the one. It can conduct a simple risk assessment based on your age and your tolerance and outline the pros and cons of different savings vehicles, like mutual funds versus high-yield savings accounts.
Can we talk about a concrete example of AI strategy in this area? For instance, with debt management, people often have to choose between the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods. How does AI navigate that choice?
That is a perfect example of AI providing strategic depth. So the debt snowball method, it focuses on psychological wins by having you pay off the smallest balances first, regardless of the interest rate.
Feels good to class one off the list.
It does. The debt avalanche, on the other hand, focuses purely on mathematical efficiency. It prioritizes the highest interest rates first. A human advisor might choose the snowball if their client needs motivation. AI, however, will calculate the precise difference in interest you will pay over time for both methods.
So it gives you the hard numbers.
It provides clarity by modeling the two paths. And, unless you tell it otherwise, it will likely recommend the mathematically optimal avalanche method, showing you precisely how many months and how much money you'll save. It creates these clear repayment plans, it strategically prioritizes high-interest loans, and it outlines options like loan consolidation. It turns a terrifying emotional problem into a structured math problem with an optimized solution.
This is a huge one. For many of our listeners, especially the learner persona, AI's application in education is probably the most transformative area we'll discuss. The sources describe AI as the greatest tutor ever created, patient, tireless, and capable of simplifying any concept. How does it possibly live up to that enormous claim?
It lives up to it by completely redefining what personalized learning means. Traditional education is standardized. It's paced for the average student in the class. AI is fully adaptable and paced for the individual.
So it meets you where you are.
It meets you exactly where you are. It can explain difficult topics by approaching them from multiple angles. If one explanation fails, it instantly tries another analogy or another methodology. It simplifies dense, jargon-heavy textbooks by just extracting the core conceptual models.
And crucially,
Crucially, it generates tailored examples until you achieve comprehension. It creates quizzes dynamically to test specific gaps in your knowledge, and it uses your performance data to identify weak areas for focused remedial study.
the value for students there is just enormous. Having a private tutor available anytime, adapting its style. If I'm a visual learner and I'm stuck on a complex physics concept at 11 p.m., I can ask the AI to explain it to me using a 3D model analogy, right?
Exactly. And that tutor never gets tired, it never gets frustrated, and it's never dismissive. It instantly recalibrates its entire pedagogical approach to your exact level and your preferred learning style. If you say, explain plate tectonics to me, but use a baking analogy, it instantly delivers. This ability to instantly personalize the teaching style to your specific cognitive needs is what gives AI this immense power over traditional educational resources.
And we're not just talking about core academic subjects like history or mathematics either, are we? The sources really emphasize the breadth of skill acquisition across all these diverse fields.
The knowledge base is universal, and that makes AI a truly democratizing force in education. It can assist with learning human languages by practicing conversation with you. It can help you learn coding by debugging your syntax and explaining complex functions.
Practical.
Very practical skills, improving technical writing, public speaking, mastering advanced science, helping with specialized professional certification courses, and even highly specific localized subjects like the grammatical structure of Quranic Arabic. It provides affordable, instant access to specialized knowledge that previously required very expensive, in-person expert tuition.
And it's not just about teaching skills, it's about massive research assistance and time savings. This applies equally to students working on dissertations and professionals preparing for major presentations. I think you called it a force multiplier for intellectual output.
And it is, just think of the hours and hours spent summarizing documents and synthesizing arguments. AI's research functions include summarizing entire books into key chapters. It can review dozens of research papers simultaneously, say 50 papers on some niche microeconomic trend.
A task that would take a human weeks.
Weeks, easily. You can generate structured study notes, create complex outlines for projects, and this is a big one. You can identify linkages between disparate subjects that a human might completely miss.
Can you elaborate on that linking disparate subjects feature? How does that actually work in practice?
It works by creating a knowledge graph in its memory. A human researcher might read a paper on climate change and then a separate paper on agricultural policy, but struggle to connect the precise, emergent regulatory risks between the two.
Right, the dots are too far apart.
Exactly. AI processes both documents. It identifies the intersecting data points, for example, the regional water usage estimates in both, and it generates a concise summary showing the emergent trend. It handles the information volume and the mechanical linking, which allows the human to focus solely on synthesis and critical thought. That massive reduction in the time needed for information processing is why it's a force multiplier.
Okay, let's move into the professional sphere. Clarity and speed in communication are just non-negotiable success factors today. So how does AI achieve what the sources call email and message mastery that elevates communication from just adequate to truly professional grade?
It provides this sophisticated linguistic support that goes far, far beyond simple spelling and grammar correction. AI can draft entire emails based on minimal dictated instruction. For example, you could say, tell John we need the quarterly report by Friday with these 3 key metrics.
And that drastically improves speed.
Massively.
Mm.
But more importantly, it focuses on tone adjustment.
That nuance is so crucial in professional settings. You might need to deliver bad news, but you have to maintain a diplomatic tone, or you might need a very formal tone when you're addressing a regulatory body.
Exactly. AI can instantly formalize a casual draft if you suddenly realize you're emailing a new, important client. Or conversely, it can soften a blunt or harsh message to maintain diplomacy and protect relationships.
Hmm.
Furthermore, its ability to summarize long, complex email threads means you can catch up on a multi-day discussion in just seconds. You can grasp the essential action items and the context, and then draft a quick, context-aware reply that maintains that professional standard.
So it's not just about being grammatically correct. It's about the sociological and strategic impact of the message, making sure your communication lands with the intended impact and professionalism every single time.
Precisely. The outcome is measurable.
Yep.
You get enhanced speed, reduced ambiguity, and increased clarity in all of your written communication, which is really the backbone of professional life today, especially in distributed teams.
And that clarity extends to advanced document generation. What is the scope of complex documents that AI can handle based on the source material?
The scope is broad. It touches nearly every aspect of business and academic life. AI can generate detailed technical reports. It can fill out complex regulatory applications, structure persuasive business proposals, create organized presentation scripts, and provide comprehensive summaries of large existing data sets.
Wow.
It even has the capacity to generate what we might call legal-style drafts, such as initial contract outlines, non-disclosure agreements, or internal policy documents.
And that brings up the critical need for a human filter. We have to state this clearly. While AI provides the structure, anything serious, especially anything legal or financially binding, requires mandatory human verification and expertise.
Absolutely mandatory. AI provides the structure, the boilerplate, the initial content draft. It saves you hours of unproductive staring at a blank page. However, a human must provide the specific context, ensure compliance with local regulations, and confirm that specific legal nuance is correct. Think of AI as a powerful drafting engine that requires a human pilot for certification.
And finally, in our interconnected world, we have to talk about the essential utility of global communication, which brings us to translation and multilingual support.
This is a fundamental utility now. The source highlights specific real-world translation pairs that are essential for this audience. Urdu to and from English, English to and from Arabic, and Urdu and from Chinese, alongside the capacity for supporting many other major global languages.
So it's not just a gimmick.
Not at all. This allows the listener to engage seamlessly with global markets, to manage international correspondence instantly, or to communicate with diverse populations without having to rely on limited human linguistic ability. It's an instant bridge across all language barriers, supporting both real-time conversation and formal documentation.
All right, let's shift gears completely. We're going to bring AI back into the domestic sphere, making everyday life simpler and removing some of those tedious friction points. And we'll start right in the kitchen with cooking and recipes.
This is where practical, organized application meets domestic creativity. AI acts as a supremely efficient domestic assistant. It can create recipes based on the available ingredients you have.
Which is a huge time saver when you're just staring into an almost empty fridge.
It is. It can plan multi-day meals, which crucially links back to those long-term diet and nutrition goals we were talking about earlier. It can suggest healthier alternatives for classic family dishes, and it can accurately calculate ingredient amounts if you need to scale a recipe up for a large gathering or down for a single person.
You know, that ingredient calculation feature is a small detail, but anyone who has tried to manually have a complicated cake recipe knows how easily that can go wrong with messy fractions. AI just removes that cognitive burden.
It removes all those little friction points from common household tasks, and the same efficiency is applied to the logistics of travel planning and shopping.
How does AI optimize travel planning? Because when I use traditional travel sites, I often just feel overwhelmed with too many options and conflicting prices.
AI excels at cutting through that noise by applying deep constraint-based modeling. It takes your constraints, your budget, your duration, your destination goals, even your travel style, like a preference for historical sites versus nature,
Mm-hmm.
and it builds detailed, optimized itineraries. It finds the best travel dates by analyzing historical pricing data across airlines and hotels. It plans budgets precisely, suggests famous locations that align with your specified interests, and it dynamically compares various travel options, from optimizing flight routes based on minimal layover time to comparing accommodation types based on real user reviews.
Can it dynamically adjust a route based on real-time factors like weather or traffic delays?
Absolutely. If a major weather event is predicted for your route, the AI can instantly alert you and suggest alternative, lower-risk routes or schedules. And if you're traveling internationally, it often incorporates a personalized risk assessment by analyzing real-time news feeds for political unrest or health advisories in your target location. It actually integrates safety into the planning process,
So it manages the entire logistical maze.
efficiently and proactively.
And shopping assistance, how does AI save time and money in that scenario, especially in a world that is just flooded with product reviews?
By providing objective, synthesized analysis. When you're looking at buying a new appliance, for example, AI compares prices across multiple retailers instantly. Crucially, it analyzes product quality by synthesizing thousands of customer reviews and technical specifications.
So instead of me reading for 2 hours,
Exactly. Instead of spending 2 hours manually reading 5 different reviews for a single product, AI summarizes the key metrics. It identifies conflicting user experiences like, the motor is strong, but the assembly is weak, and it recommends the optimal choice based on your criteria. It saves you time and it minimizes buyer's remorse.
and this level of domestic support, it all rolls up into the concept of AI as the comprehensive family planning assistant.
Exactly. It manages the logistics of communal life, which often involve the most emotional complexity and scheduling friction. This includes helping with detailed birthday plans, the venue, invitations, catering, organizing complex multi-stop family trips, assisting with detailed long-term tasks like wedding organization timelines, coordinating holiday scheduling across multiple families, and even structuring children's study plans to ensure consistency and adherence to specific educational goals. Provides one centralized, intelligent hub for managing all these multiple interconnected schedules, freeing up human bandwidth for actual family enjoyment.
This next section is where we look at AI moving beyond strict logic and organization into two distinctly human areas: creativity and judgment. Let's start with unlocking personal creativity. The key insight here is pretty profound. Creativity is no longer limited by your skill, only by your imagination.
That's a powerful realization. AI fundamentally democratizes creative expression. If you have a brilliant concept for a song lyric or a short story or a specific design aesthetic, but you lack the technical skill to execute it, whether that's poetic verse structure or graphic design software proficiency, AI acts as the immediate, tireless technical executor.
So AI becomes the master tool that executes the human vision.
Precisely. The sources list vast examples, writing poetry in a specific meter or style, designing personalized digital artwork or logos, brainstorming new product ideas or marketing concepts, generating structured book chapters from an outline, creating scripts for video content, assisting with complex content production workflows, designing home interiors based on your aesthetic input and physical constraints, and even helping users express difficult, nuanced emotions through writing when their own words fail them. AI acts as a high-speed, highly skilled collaborator for any creative endeavor you can possibly imagine.
And on the complete opposite end of that spectrum, AI brings logic and a robust structure to major life choices through structured decision support. It helps humans use their judgment more effectively.
Yes, because decision-making is so often paralyzed by emotion or fear of regret or just simple uncertainty due to data overload.
Yeah.
AI provides a systematic methodology for tackling that complexity. It structures the decision by defining all the relevant variables. It compares choices objectively using quantifiable data. It weighs the pros and cons based on metrics that you define.
Correct.
It predicts potential short and long-term outcomes of each path. And it rigorously analyzes the inherent financial and logistical risks. It systematically removes the emotional heat from the choice.
Let's elaborate on a specific decision. For complex multivariable choices like, should I buy this specific car? Or is renting better than buying a home in this city? Or should I take this new job offer versus staying put? How does AI provide that structure?
It adds clarity and mathematical logic. For instance, comparing renting versus buying isn't just about the monthly payment. AI can incorporate local market trends, estimated home value appreciation over time, expected maintenance costs over 10 years, the tax implications of home ownership, and the opportunity cost of the capital that's tied up in a down payment.
Things most of us wouldn't even think to calculate.
Right. It uses predictive modeling to forecast potential financial scenarios based on different market conditions. This provides a full, objective, data-driven scaffolding, ensuring that when you, the human, make the final choice, it's based on the most robust possible analysis. It transforms the vague anxiety of a big choice into a series of transparent, solvable equations.
We've covered 8 massive integrated areas of life, from the micromanagement of our time to the macromanagement of creativity and finance. The underlying critical theme of all the source material is the successful establishment of a partnership.
hmm
The sources clearly define a division of labor, outlining what AI handles and what the human must retain responsibility for.
And this division of labor is the critical, philosophical, and practical conclusion of this entire deep dive. We have to understand the distinct, non-overlapping strengths of each partner to succeed. AI strengths are entirely focused on handling the data, the mechanics, and the sheer volume of computation.
So AI handles the engine room tasks. Which specific tasks fall under AI's optimal domain?
Information processing at scale, systematic strategic planning, rapid content drafting, continuous organization of all these disparate inputs, complex calculations, setting non-emotional reminders, and exhaustive research across global databases. AI is the perfect engine for scale, for structure, and for speed. It never forgets, it never tires, and it never succumbs to cognitive bias.
And the human's role. Where does our unique, our irreplaceable value lie in this technologically augmented partnership?
The human handles the judgment, the wisdom,
Mm.
and the long-term moral direction. This includes establishing the ethical framework, that moral lens that AI fundamentally cannot possess. It includes applying wisdom that's derived from life experience, making the final decisions based on emotional nuance, on intuition and subjective preferences,
Right.
and critically, setting the long-term subjective goals. You, the human, define what life means to you and what direction you want to move in. The AI then figures out how to achieve those goals in the most efficient, structured way possible.
So AI provides the roadmap in the car, but the human chooses the destination and drives the final mile. What is the ultimate cumulative result of this integrated, intelligent partnership for our listener?
The sources are very clear on this. The result is a profoundly more intelligent and balanced way of living. This partnership drastically reduces mental and organizational stress. It boosts productivity across all your personal and professional domains. It increases financial clarity and security. It improves health management through personalized regimens. It accelerates learning by providing tireless tutelage. It enhances communication globally. It organizes life comprehensively. It expands personal creativity beyond skill limitations. And most fundamentally, it strengthens the quality of human decision-making.
In short, AI is not just a collection of cool gadgets or powerful apps. It's an integrated, systematic approach to optimizing the human experience, designed to help you focus your limited time and energy on what truly requires human judgment and care. So, to recap this massive deep dive, we've demonstrated through extensive source material that AI is no longer a niche tool for the technically proficient or, a playground for giant corporations. It is a comprehensive personal assistant, a tireless tutor, a disciplined planner, an objective financial advisor, and a crucial daily companion. It's integrating itself seamlessly into your finances, your health, your education, and your most mundane daily tasks.
Our goal today was to provide you, the learner, with a quick yet extremely thorough understanding of this fundamental shift from AI as a concept to AI as an immediate, practical, structured component of your daily routine. Mastering this knowledge is, I think, essential for navigating modern life without being completely overwhelmed by complexity.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This naturally leads us into the next stage of exploration, that our sources begin to touch on AI's role within the very fabric of the family unit and parenting. If AI can organize our careers, our budgets, and our personal health with such incredible computational precision,
Then the fundamental question we must confront and explore is this: what fundamental shifts must we make as parents and as educators, the people who are shaping the next generation, to ensure they use this immense power responsibly, wisely, and ethically? What does a smarter, safer, and more empowered generation truly look like when AI is part of the core family unit, influencing development, education, and social understanding from a very early age? That, I think, is the essential question for you to explore. Until next time.
thank you for joining us for this deep dive into AI and your personal life. We'll see you soon.